What up, people? We're in the Boom Boom Room. I'm your host, Ron Slater. Got a special guest that I had to dig in the bag to go get. My dog, my sis, volunteer through and through. So it's only one proper introduction. Let me bring it through. Let me let you see the clip. You know what I mean? And you can see for yourself, and then I'll bring on. So y'all stay tuned. Here we go.
Honestly, when the shot went in, tears came to my eyes. I think I was more emotional at that moment than I was when we actually won because I was able to stay strong and not just get discouraged.
So entering the Boom Boom Room, it is the one, the only Alexis Hornbuckle. Lex, what up?
What up, Slay? What's good with you, man?
What's happening? I appreciate you coming in. You know what I mean? Showing a little love in the Boom Boom Room.
Say less.
Hey, we're gonna jump straight to it. We saw that clip, you know what I mean? That's I think that was a big clip for you, and we'll get to that story, you know, how you held your emotions together up to that point, you know, hitting that basket, you know, and kind of we'll try to kind of walk people through that. But before that, let's get to Alexis Hornbuckle. To the viewers, she was raised in West Virginia. Now, you know what I mean? This unfiltered, you know what I mean? This is the Boom Boom Room. We talk about it all here. I don't know many blacks from West Virginia. You know what I mean? Let's just get that straight up front. You know what I mean? We ain't gonna sugarcoat it or nothing, but you are one of the only ones that I know from West Virginia, straight up. You know, so
Hear that everywhere.
So you tell me how was your upbringing? You know what I mean? Single parent home, father, mother, brother, sister. Give us the rundown.
I mean, like you said, I grew up in West Virginia. I was born in Charleston, raised in a city called Dunbar, aka the Bottom, aka Motop. You know what I mean? So I wasn't growing up in the burbs.
Right.
You know what I mean? But both my parents did a great job. I grew up in the church. At that time, they were both ministers. We went to my grandfather's church. It was my mom's father, pastored his own church. My dad's dad back home, back in Logan, West Virginia, pastored his own church. So I grew up like I'm a PK. So that probably was a good thing for me growing up in the environment that I grew up in, because you know they kind of kept you straight, humble. Hey, listen, you're gonna focus on your education. Yes, it's nice you're an athlete, but education first. So that was really my upbringing, which I think that kind of helped me when I started to play sports, because I kind of already had that foundation of what sports gives most people.
Most definitely. So, two-parent home, both preachers. Your brother was older than you?
Yeah, my brother's 15 months older than me, so you know that helped. Always trying to go and do what he did and follow him, and you know what I mean, be able to play without saying, "Oh, I want her on my team."
Right.
You know.
Yeah, most definitely. So you coming straight into it. Did you love basketball straight off the bat? You know, I know your for the viewers that may not know, your father was more than just a preacher. Your father was a coach also. So did that ball get put in your hand? Did you accept that ball?
Coach still to this day.
Still a coach to this day. Okay. So did you get that ball to go in? Did you run with it?
You know what's crazy? I did always have a ball in my hand. Like, well, according to my dad, I started dribbling like, you know, the little basketballs and stuff when I was like 2 years old, like working on my handles. But I really didn't like basketball. Wasn't my first love. Soccer actually was my first love. I started playing both when I was 4 years old, and I like soccer's just more physical. in a different way. You know what I mean? Like you get to, and at that time, I just like to hit people. So I fell in love with soccer. I fell in love with soccer, and then obviously I never put the ball down, and it just came to a point where I felt probably when I was like 8, 9, 10 years old, something like that. Realized like, hey, I could be alright at this.
Yeah. So this is you get about 8, 9, and 10, and you start to pick up basketball. You dominant straight out the gate.
Nah, I started playing organized basketball though when I was 4. Also, I just
Right.
didn't. That just wasn't my first love.
Okay.
So I was terrible, like any other kid. You know, I had to learn the basics, the fundamentals, using your right, left layups. My dad did a great job of instilling the fundamentals in both myself and my brother. But you know, he instilled that defensive rebounding team mentality before he was like, all right, you're gonna be a scorer. He taught us how to score. That wasn't our initial mentality as basketball players, which you know is unique.
Right. So your father being a coach, high school coach, right?
Yeah, he's my assistant at down here at J.M. Robinson. I can't let him go too far, man.
Yeah, you gotta keep all that experience tamed, man. Keep them resources
That's my golden nugget. That's my golden nugget, man.
Well, so who were some of your driving forces and some influential people other than your mom and dad?
Definitely my brother for sure, because I definitely wouldn't have turned out into the player and the competitor that I was if it wasn't playing the battles that we had almost on a daily basis. You know what I mean?
Right.
Going at each other, trying to make each other better. But also, I mean, every assistant coach that my dad was bringing into our West Virginia Tornadoes, which was my AAU squad.
Mm-hmm.
I think they did a great job. He always kept, you know, a woman on the coaching staff so that we as young girls could say, oh, look up to her. She played in a college or she did this, so, you know, we can do this, and not only placing around male figures. So legit them. And then, of course, just, you know, my family in general. They just always made sure keep my head on straight, check on me, and basically make sure you stay focused.
Gotta stay focused. So let's jump straight to your playing days. You get to middle school, junior high. Were you already knew where you were going? Were you accepted? Was a lot of pressure at that time for you to come in and win? Were you in control of the program? Tell me about that experience. In West Virginia.
By the time I got to, what'd you say?
In West Virginia.
In West Virginia, yeah. By the time I got to playing middle school, I only played junior high 1 year. Mm-hmm. I grew up playing at the Huntington Y. So I grew up playing with like Pat Patterson, O.J. Mayo, Bill Walker. Those are the guys I grew up playing against. Mm-hmm. So when it came to playing, and then always competing in AAU and competing for championships and playing against other top players in the state, by the time I come to I aged out of YMCA, so I had to play for the school. Man, low key was boring. It was cool because you with your friends, but it was just like it wasn't challenging enough. You know what I mean? We went undefeated, and I told my dad after that, like, listen, I want to go either to high school or I'm just gonna play AAU next year until I get to high school. Cause, well, junior high and then high school. So for those who don't know, for the millennials and younger, so we didn't have that middle school where you're going, what is that, 6th through 8th grade in middle school? Yep. So we were 7th through 9th grade in junior high, so you only had 10th through 12th grade. So I was like, either I got to go to a high school or I'm just going to play AAU and pick up, you know what I mean? And so I ended up transferring from the city I was in to Capital High School and handle my business. So I wasn't sure where I was going. I knew where I wanted to go. Right. I was already bleeding orange. Since 6th grade, I was bleeding orange. So I knew that was automatic. I just knew I had to keep working. And then when I saw Pat come to my first game, it was in the AAU Nationals in Nashville, matter of fact. I said, it's on popping.
So who put that in you? Like for me, instance, I didn't really follow Tennessee at the time. You know, it just started to get a flux of talent when I got there. Like a year before, Tony Harris was big from Memphis, Vincent Yarbrough, you know what I mean, so forth and so on. But you know, with the women's game, that was a little, well, not even a little, a lot bit different. You know what I mean? You got the Shamika Holtzclaws, you got the Tamika Catchings, Samika Rounders, the list goes on and on. You know what I mean? Even dating back to Holly and all those players. So What struck you about Tennessee? Was it the orange? What got you? What got you about them?
I do. I still believe orange. You see the backdrop. I
Without a
still believe. But I mean, I watched the documentary from the HBO special that they did on the Cinderella season. I believe it was in '98.
Yep.
And after watching that and listening to the story and hearing how I think they like missed curfew or something, or went out when they weren't supposed to, something like that.
Yeah.
Pat had 4 trash cans in each corner and was everybody was throwing up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that's where I want to go. Like, I need somebody that crazy to push me to levels, that I feel like I can reach. And I just fell in love with Tennessee. I promise you that day. The day I saw that documentary, it was like, that's where I want to go.
And I think they were like, that year didn't start off too great for them. You know what I mean? They were like a comeback team or something like it. Yeah, it was a bad team, but they ended great.
Yeah.
Ended great. So
Right.
That fed into you. That's good. I'm glad it did, because we would have never met, you know what I mean, people that don't know, viewers in the Boom Boom Room, Ron Slade and Alexis Hornbuckle. This is my dog, man. Like, this you know what I mean? I words can't speak it enough, you know what I mean? And we'll get to that part, you know what I mean, how the Tennessee family, you know what I mean, plays a big part before, after, during your career, whatever it may be. But it's always close ties, whether it be male sports, female sports, whatever it is, it's close ties. So you get ready to go to Capital first?
Yeah, so I went out of district to Capitol High, which was in Charleston.
What brought that up?
Well, it was really the only drivable option, like for my parents and for me to be able to get to school, and if anything occurs, if they at work, how they can get to me. So that was the closest option at the time. So ended up doing that and get there, and we won back-to-back my freshman and sophomore year. And then my grades slipped up, you know what I mean? And plus I was already wanting to go back and graduate with my friends, but my dad made that choice for me when my grades was dropped below that 2.0 one semester. And he said, "Oh, you think you get to play basketball or anything? Oh no, come on back home.
Yeah.
Get your grades.
It's not gonna work.
Ain't no sports."
Yeah.
Yep, I couldn't play anything, couldn't do anything, like, until my grades came. I had to take summer school that year, like.
Yeah.
It was real.
And that was a rude awakening for you, I bet, to have sports snatched from you like that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, my dad ain't play that, and I never thought he did. To this day, he can strike the fear of God in me, but but I never thought that he would say, all right, no sports. Because to me, sports was how I was going to get a free education. For him, he's like, you're going to be educated regardless.
Right. That's a big thing.
So that was a huge awakening. I was like, oh, I get it.
So Lex, you always been a winner. Anybody that's followed your career, I don't know if they know it started this early, but you win 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, transfer, and go to South Charleston.
Yeah, I went to South Charleston. Slade, they had won 4 games in the previous 4 years before I got there.
So you leave championship pedigree, and go to a rebuilding moment. You know what I mean? A rebuilding team. What was that? Is that why your dad took you out of there and brought you back there?
No, he brought me back because he's right there. Like, he worked not even 5 minutes from the school. Okay. He could come snatch my life whenever he it felt like it. So he was real close. My mom was kind of close too. So it's what I needed at the time, to be realistic with you. I was on my high horse. You know how you get as a young athlete, sometimes you get that Superman syndrome. You feel untouchable and you lose that focus, right? Unless you have those people in your place. Sometimes it's parents, grandparents, coaches, friends, whatever. But if you don't have that, we already know, we know a lot of has-beens or woulda, couldas who made bad decisions. So I think I needed that. Now, is that necessarily what I wanted at the time? No, but I needed that.
Right.
So, he just did what he needed to do as a parent, or they did what they needed to do as parents. It was like, this is what we're going to do. You don't got no say-so. You messed that up when you lost your grades.
Exactly. Okay. So you coming into that situation, what's your obstacles coming into that? Definitely talent can't be at an all-time high. I mean, there's no knock to your teammates or anything, but you going from championships to a team that won 4 games, something missing. So what kind of pressure are you putting on yourself to give a turnaround for that school?
Well, there was quite a few people that were out of district at the Capital School that would have been zoned. I think it was like two more people that would have been zoned for South Charleston. So I'm like, hey, we about to and they were all athletes, volleyball, couple basketball. One was like track basketball, but and it was just like, okay. So, I didn't go over there empty-handed. I mean, it was myself, Renee Montgomery, one of my good friends, Blair Ruddle, and who else came over? Lori Coleman, Danielle, and Scott. So we really had like 6 people of halfway decent talent or that can at least compete. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then we gathered what we could from SC, from the high school. And my golden nugget, who was on the bench at Capital with me, my dad is also on the bench at South Charleston High School with me. So he's really the X factor here. I can't take the credit.
And tell me this though, because very seldom do you get to talk to people that have been coaches, sons, daughters. I had Randolph Childress on earlier, the Wake Forest legend, and he had the opportunity to coach his son. He said it was one of the greatest opportunities, and he couldn't pass up being able to coach his son. And when he got to see him graduate and go out there and play, like that was one of the greatest feelings, other than playing for a championship, that he could ever imagine. So, from the child's perspective, try to date back to you being a kid. What was the pressure like playing for your dad? But I know you were great, but did you feel that pressure like the other kids looking at you like, man, damn, he gonna let us slide with this? Or you felt like you had to always push anyway to hold yourself accountable where he didn't?
I mean, yeah, I had to hold myself accountable, but at the same time, my dad don't play that. And he did treat every kid fair. Now, every kid may not be getting a whooping like I would, but you know what I mean? As far as in that sports arena, as far as that practice game situation or scenario, he would bitch me just as quickly as he would bitch someone else who wasn't performing, or who did an attitude or answers disrespectfully or not following the game plan. So I did grow up under that type of strict instruction, so that helped me stay accountable, and it helped me grow into being even more accountable as I got older. But I mean, the kids love him. All the parents love him. I mean, players, it's a love-hate thing because he running the mess out of you. This is before, you demanded water breaks and gyms had to have AC and all. Nah, bro, we in there dying in the heat. You hear me?
Straight up.
I mean, he running people about to have asthma attacks, like everything, man. He ain't playing no games.
Hey, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. I gotta see you. I gotta get up there and see a game with you, coach. I'd rather see a practice than a game. You know what I mean? To see how you are. To see to see how you getting at these kids and how many sprints you making them do, how many Tennessee drills you got them doing before the season, and if they falling out.
Hey, they falling out quick, bro. By the end of the season, I had like 8 players. I asked my AD one time, can we forfeit? Like, they don't want to be here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to be here. I mean, it's not going to matter to them because that shows up how they play. And they ain't understand why I would get so upset. Right. And the beginning, and this is why this is a blessing to keep somebody like my father around who's been coaching for 40 plus years as like my mentor and my one of my assistant coaches. He's just seen way more than I've seen in the coaching world. He's dealt with thousands of more kids than I've dealt with as far as a coaching capacity. So, I mean, it got to a point, like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm just like, hey, Daddy, this ain't for me.
This ain't gonna get it.
He was like, think about it, Lex. Did you just get it? Do you just get everything? No, you got to go through it. Somebody has to teach you. Somebody has to hold you accountable. You have to have the repetitions in. And I'm like, yeah, but I thought like when it comes to competing, like, what you out here for? If you're not going to compete, why you here? And that's all I understood. So that was probably like, the biggest adjustment I had to make for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So you get there and you win. You went. Y'all went state, 2 state championships.
Yeah. So I have 4. Freshman through senior year, all 4. Yep. 2 and 2.
Very seldom does that happen. Very seldom does that happen. So, hey, so you get that. When did you commit to University of Tennessee?
I want to say I signed my letter of intent in my junior year, I think. But as far as mentally committing, Slay, that took place in '98, bro.
Yeah, you was already there.
It was it.
Yeah.
That's all I saw. You know what I mean? And when I see red, I see orange, bro, and I'm coming for it. Like, that's it. That's it.
You better know it. Okay, so y'all got this #1 class coming in. You, Candace, Nikki, Shannon Bobbitt.
Nah, she came in. Her and Bird came in junior senior year. They were JUCO transfers.
Okay.
We had Alex Fuller, Alex Simmons now.
Forgot about Alex.
Dolsky came in with us, but then she transferred to Arizona State. And Sade Wiley Gatewood, she came in, but then she transferred to Maryland.
Yeah. So y'all had an amazing class come in.
Bro, we had six McDonald's All-Americans come in.
Sickening. So it's automatically expected. Expectations sky high.
Set. Table set.
Yeah, y'all gotta go win a chip. Honestly. You know what I mean? It's chip plus.
Yeah. We like, okay, Tennessee, we've been getting there, but we've been falling short. So as far as our class coming in, it was definitely wanted an opportunity to play for Pat, but I'm trying to hang a banner. It's been, you know what I mean? It's been 5 years. Oh, now it's 6 years. Oh, it's 7 years, whatever. You know what I mean? How can we do this? And we was already low-key, as Peerless told me the other day, like, we had a lot of athletic arrogance.
Right.
So we already was thinking, who gonna stop us on top of it's Tennessee?
Right.
You know how it is. I mean, you're not the only All-American, period.
Exactly.
You know. Yeah. So coming in with the fire that we had, and then the upperclassmen having the fire that they had, I think it kind of helped bring the upperclassmen and the freshmen together quicker.
And I know the upperclassmen that you all had, Sarah Eli was one. Shauna Zolman. Was Shauna there at the time? Who was your upperclassman?
Zoe was there. Brittany Jackson was there. Sydney Spencer, Dominique Redding, Lori Moore.
Elmo,
that's my girl, man. Is that it? Oh, Tyson Fluker.
Big Ty.
Yeah, Big Ty was there.
Hey, man.
And I think that was it, though. My freshman year, I think that's what we came into, right?
Okay, so the expectations off the muscle are set. It's time to get back to the pinnacle. Y'all come into it, and let's go through the preseason. Preseason, you're used to your dad making y'all run. You used to structure. You used to discipline. Talk about the contrast from him and Coach Summer.
There's a lot of similarities, but there's a lot of differences too. There's a lot of differences too. Coach, I mean, Tennessee, that's Pat Summit State. You know what I mean? Like, you know, as Lady Balls, we see it as our home. I mean, everybody that played for Bandier, so I understand, you know what I mean? Like the personal battle, but at that era, coming into the University of Tennessee, we felt like we had the Queen of Tennessee leading us, so there's no way that we can misrepresent our state. And the best way to represent your state is to win a championship. So Pat is like conditioning on it. You know, well, Heather Mason, really, who has our strength and conditioning coach, getting us right. I mean, but there's days you come in the gym, run, you can't run right, breathe right, walk right, and it don't matter. Pat's gonna make you run that day. Like, it is what it is. She's testing you.
Yeah.
And I feel like I know my father did that multiple times, not just to me, but other players. That challenge of, all right, let me see what you really got. Let me see how strong mentally you really are. So there were a lot of similarities, but the only difference is if I get in trouble in AAU, or if I don't perform right, I might get benched, or, you know, God forbid, if I was disrespectful, I might get a whooping. Well, this is different. You're in college. They can send you home. They can take away your scholarship. Your life is impacted much differently now. You know, the risks are a lot higher. And so I think I had a different type of respect for Pat versus how I saw my dad. You know, I always saw my dad as, yes, a coach and my dad, but at the same time, when you see someone who's not your blood, but you hold this much admiration and respect for them, they can get things out of you that even people that you've known for years couldn't get out of you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that's the difference there.
And that test, that mental test, how important is that for buying confidence in the coach for one, your teammates for two, and just overall you know what I mean, coming into it and finally being like, man, I do belong here. You know what I mean? You know the history of the Tennessee Lady Vols. You see the banners up there every day you go out there to practice. Like
Right.
that standard, you making it through that mental approach. What was your biggest mental hurdle in the preseason, you think?
I think in adjusting to being a full-time student athlete, because in high school it's different. Yeah, you have classes. Yes, after school you have practice, but your day is pretty much set, right? So you go to school from 8 to 2, 8 to whatever your high school schedule is. In college, you may only have a class. You may have a class back to back, 8 and 10. You don't got another class to the evening, but you still got to do your tutoring and study hall hours,
Right.
along with your workouts or your conditioning and/or practice, and make sure you eat, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do all of that. Your
Yeah.
parents and administrators and coaches and other parents have your sandwiches and your snacks and stuff.
Mhm.
You ain't worried about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Get your home done. Like there was just so much that you think you're in control of in high school that you don't even have a full grasp on.
Right.
You know. And so I think that was probably the biggest mental road for me. That number one, those 8 o'clock classes,
Mm-hmm.
and then like they start at 8. Like school don't open up at 8.
Yeah.
Like the lections start at 8. So I think
Yeah.
having to be there, be on time, sit in the front 3 rows, like, and realizing everything you do is being watched.
Mm-hmm.
That was, because I was a little knucklehead sometimes, so, you know, I didn't really like that. I try to bug the system as much as I could.
Hence the name Buck. Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, it's so fitting.
Yeah. Hey, that's what's up. So I know for sure I got a couple of females I mentor, you know, watching, and I try to tell them all the time, man, the work that you put in and the standard that you set is what's looked upon to be every single time you walk in the gym. You know, and that one time you slacking, like you said, y'all came in with 6 McDonald's All-Americans.
Mm-hmm.
The next year, nothing's guaranteed. She can go recruit 6 more, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
and get y'all out of there. So that hard work, that's what I always try to preach to them, that hard work and always being who you are, establishing who you are, establishing a pecking order, and living up to it, you know what I mean? If you could give advice to some of these girls that's listening and how difficult that level is to obtain, along with the schoolwork, how do you do it? Like, what's the motivation in doing it? Like, is it the phone call back home to your pops? Man, Lexa was bullshitting. I don't know what she got going on, but you know what I mean? That let down to that, let down to yourself. What was your motivation to keep grinding like that?
Well, my motivation was my why. Like, why did I fall in love with the game? Why did I want to go to Tennessee? Why do I constantly want to win championships or compete for championships? Why do I want to go to the WNBA? So obviously from college was the WNBA. So I can't just get to Tennessee and stop there. Now I got to put in even more work because every night we have a target on our back and we're playing against other All-Americans. They might not have 6 or 7, or they might not even have a 1 or 2. But, you know, they're coming for you, and somehow almost every night teams put their best games on against you and can't do nothing else against a team you blasted by 40 points. So my motivation was really my why. And my why was basically, I want to get out. I want to do something for my family. I want to graduate and get my degree. So I want to make sure I do that first, but I also want to make sure I position myself to get drafted. So I got to be on it on court and off court. I got to make sure that I'm doing what I need to get to that next level. Was it always easy? No. Did I make mistakes? Whoo, boy, a hell of a lot of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, but you learn, you move forward. You put, like I said earlier, you got to put the right people around you. Though. If you're thinking about going to work out or picking up a ball, putting up extra shots, or calling your coach to meet you at the gym, but you got a friend talking about, not right now, I just don't feel like it. Or, hey, let's just go watch this movie first and we can go over here. Or, we just worked out yesterday. That's like, all of those are red flags. You need to distance yourself. Not get rid of him as friends. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
Distance yourself. Align yourself with people that have a similar why to you. That's going to drive you. That's going to push you. That's going to want the best for you. And at some point, though, you gotta take over and say, I want this for myself. They see it in me. You gotta start believing in yourself. I see a lot of confidence issues coaching young girls, young ladies. And you gotta number one believe in yourself, but you gotta be willing to put in the work, and it's a lot of work. My kids asked me last week, some of my AU girls on a Zoom call, Coach, you think that you would ever want to go back and play? I said, no, not at this one. You know what I mean? Unless somebody gonna pay me to sit on their bench and be like a bench coach,
rah,
floor. Yeah, put me in the game a couple times, get a rebound, set my old behind down.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing it because it takes so much, and mentally, that's not my why anymore.
Right.
So it would be a job, right?
Yeah.
And that's not why I pursued basketball.
Exactly.
So now my why is different. It's not as a player. I'm pursuing it as a coach and a mentor. I'm trying to elevate as many young girls as possible, help them get their education, put them in positions that they might never have.
Right.
So now it's just I would say probably find your why, ladies. Figure it out. What do you want, and then surround yourself with the right people. You know what I mean? Keep God first always, and just go at it. Go take it. Ain't nobody gonna give it to you now.
Now, this is what I'm telling you. You know what I mean? Now let's get back to it. Let's get back to the journey. You come in, the expectations are high. Candace get hurt. Did Alex get hurt?
Alex, Candace, knee surgeries, even Gatewood, knee surgery.
Gatewood also, yeah. So they're out. You know what I mean? So all of a sudden that's chopped in half. Them expectations chopped in half. Y'all still got to pick it up and keep it rolling because ain't nobody feeling sorry for y'all. Y'all the Lady Balls.
Right. That don't mean nothing. Everybody want to be Coach Summit and the Lady Balls, period.
Exactly. So how does that season go?
It was tough, but that freshman year we came in, made it to the Final Four. We won the SEC, but we fell short in the Final Four. There were a lot of things that went wrong that night, but bottom line is we didn't close the deal. We had like a 14-point lead going in the second half with like 4 minutes left to go. Like, seal the deal. You gotta survive in advance, and we did not do everything we possibly could, in my opinion, that year to lock up that game.
Right.
And so that was like because that great feeling of getting to the Final Four. That's why you came to Tennessee, and then it's just like, man, my heart was broke.
Yeah. Plus, you used to winning. You done won 4 straight state championships.
Yeah, that too. I wasn't used to losing big games. Not gonna lie.
Right.
Not really. So yeah, that hurt. I'm confused. Like, whoa, coach. Right. We gotta do something here. Yeah. It might not be the most orthodox. I was just raised, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
You're trying to win. Sometimes you gotta change your game plan. Sometimes you have to adjust. I mean, that's everybody knows that, but it's when you recognize it. Do you recognize it when you go back and watch film, or do you recognize it in the heat of the moment in order to save or stop that run? So
let's go into the off season. Get ready to get back. I know your focus and everything. Candace ready to prove herself. Alex ready to prove herself. Y'all ready to bounce back. Personally, you had a good year. You had a good year, personally. We going to this.
Starting off, I did. Yeah. Starting off, I did.
Yes. Yeah. So we going in this next year. A lot more is expected of you all. Seniors league. Y'all got to step up into a bigger role. Take me through that summer and then getting ready to go into your sophomore campaign.
That summer, everybody was hungry. It was a great atmosphere to be training in. You know how when everybody get on that same page and everybody hungry, you know that feeling, Ron. So it was everywhere you turn. If you tweak a injury or come on, you got this like rehab. Make sure you do your rehab. People checking in on people. You know what I'm saying? Hey, let's go put up shots. Let's go do a little extra here, whatever. But that feeling just drove me personally. I gotta be on top of my game.
Right.
I gotta be. It doesn't matter if I played average 20 minutes a game or 10 minutes a game. I'm trying to make sure not only to solidify those minutes again, but also get more. But then you got people getting healthy. You got dynamics of team changing. So you got people that can possibly take your minutes. So that Yeah, so we use that instead of as a divisive mechanism. It actually brought us closer together. Like, come on, I got you, and you know I can hold down this position, this position. I know that you can get me here, here. So it was like, where do we fill each other's voids at? So that year, I mean, that year was off to a great start. That preseason, we were all going hard. That was probably one of my most memorable preseasons.
And you can also, like you said, that's the biggest thing to me. You can feel it. You can feel it in the air. You can feel it in the training room. Like, usually people get a break a week or two to go home, but you feel when everybody's staying there that summer, nobody's there, but y'all locking in. Like it's a different mindset. It's a different mindset.
Oh yeah.
So you having a great year. Yeah, you're having a great year. Vanderbilt game. Let's talk about the Vanderbilt game. 06.
06, February 10th, 06, like it was yesterday to me. That game will forever be yesterday to me. Balling. It was one of those Vandy games that was just tough. D. Davis was giving us buckets or run for our money.
And D. Davis is on here. Shout out to D. Davis. What up, D?
What up, D? She was Miss Speedy going up and backjacking threes and everything. And ironically, when I broke my wrist, ball's going out, right? Going out of bounds. I go over the top, like to get the ball over D. Boom, throw it off her stomach. But I'm looking down at the cheerleaders and they move. So I try to catch myself. Boom, broke my wrist. Right there. Got a screw in it to this day. So yeah, and now I knew something was wrong. But the way my daddy raised us, ain't no crying, you ain't walking off, you know.
Put some tape on it and let's get back to it.
If you got to drag that thing, figure it out.
Yeah.
So that was my mentality, right? So I would just shaking it, like, Moshack, tape it up. She was like, let me see. She pressed on. I could feel pain, like it's hurting so bad, shooting pain up my elbow, my shoulder, and everything. But I'm trying not to show that to the trainer because I don't want to come out. So we wrap it up. I keep playing. Right, halftime, that she was like, sweetie, we gotta take this off. We gotta check it and see. Like, all right, they did the little thing. I never remember this. The tool that they use to check for fracture and broken bones. When they bing, they like banging on the table, vibrates, and they put it. Boy, I was like, everything dropped. Like everything dropped, and they were like, that's good. And in my head, I'm like, I don't think it is good.
Yeah.
Wrap it up.
Yeah. Let's get back to it.
Yeah, we can talk about this at the end of the game. So I go back in. I remember I shot a free throw that's just like, it was just like my wrist just, if the tape wasn't there, bro, it was just going to be like that. You know, I was like, okay, I got to figure this out. So I just willed my way mentally through that game. And it did turn out. I broke my wrist, clean, smooth. It was a pretty clean break, but I messed up a little bit, like fragments from doing this the whole game. Because, like when something hurt, you be trying to shake it off. It probably wasn't the smartest thing for me to do, but I didn't know that at the time. So.
And plus you're in a heated battle with this is a rivalry game. Like, you ain't tapping out. You know what I mean? You out here. You starting like you're a leader at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's no sitting down. There's no sitting out. I mean, that's why if I would have let them know how bad I was really hurting, they would have taken me out. That would have been the only way I was coming out. So I just sucked it up.
And shout out to Jenny, man. Jenny's one of the best trainers. Like, so we got the men's team, Chad Newman. Like, when I name my Mount Rushmore, he's always my honorable mention to put the fifth guy up there on my Mount Rushmore because we don't make it. And I'm sure the Lady Vols, I've been in that training room with a couple of them. They don't make it without Jenny. Like,
J-Mo is the truth,
she's something else.
J-Mo had magic hands. She just knew exactly what to do, when, how long. It was like everything she did was almost perfect. Like, I understand why there was a Heather Mason and a Jenny Mosak under a Pat Summit because they were all the best at their crafts. Like, we literally, in my opinion, had the best strength coach, the best trainer, and the best coach. It's kind of hard. That's like a winning recipe. It's kind of hard not to succeed like that.
Exactly. So you got that. That happens. How you finish up the season?
Well, I wanted to get back and play. And I wanted to get back and play like SEC. Obviously, that's unrealistic. So I had to humble myself and say, hey, listen, I just want to come back for the tournament, the NCAA. So I made sure, man, I'm sleeping in the training room, doing extra workouts. When they on the road, we doing therapy and stuff like strength building, man. I never know a half pound, 1 pound weight could be so heavy, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, in there trying to flex like, I gotta get this.
Yeah.
But after that, once I got healthy enough, and they said, okay, we can. They put this little contraption on me, Slade, bro. It looked like a club, like it was a soft made cast, but it's wrapped so many times in like the brown sticky Ace Bandit
Yeah, yeah.
I can't dribble because it bulges out right here to protect the hit.
Right.
Me being me. Oh, let's go. We good. I ain't got but one hand, man.
Right, I'm gonna check it out though.
Yeah, I know I prefer to go left, but I don't plan on shooting left and all that. You know. So we get back. I play. We lose in the Elite Eight to North Carolina in Cleveland, and I was just mad. Remember, I told you the first year I was like heartbroken. No, I was pissed off.
Yeah.
Like, how did we get here? And then obviously I'm feeling like it's a little bit of my fault because coaches yelling. We ain't had no point guard. We ain't had no leadership. So I'm like, well, I only have one hand. You know what I'm saying? Like when
I gave you what I had.
Yeah. Well, North Carolina executed scouting report perfect. Every time I touched the ball, they set on my left.
Yeah.
It's hard. Like I ain't got nothing to really dribble with. Like if I can't pass and cut by you, like I ain't going to the right. You know what I'm saying? So that was tough. I was pissed off about that, but that brought a whole different beast out of me that following summer though.
Mm-hmm.
That set the stage for my senior year, man.
And the funny thing is, a lot of people, this is the tradition and the legacy and the standard that's set for Lady Vols, man. Like, y'all lost in the Elite Eight.
Yeah, that was a losing season.
Yeah, and a lot of teams around the nation would be like, well, hey, man, we all right. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be honest, you know what? And I felt like we had a lot of talent, but we would have made it to the Elite Eight. I would have been like, man, we supposed to go further, but, man, that was all right, though. We did all right, you know what I mean? But them banners up there in them rafters mean something different. So you come back into this season, into the summer, and the grind is on. The grind is on.
I think we was hanging out that summer. Though.
Yeah, that's all.
I think me and you.
I was just about to say, like, it was.
Summer. Yeah.
Yeah, it was on, man. You could see, but you could see it and you could feel it. Like you said the summer before, I could see it. You know what I mean? Knowing what success is, like y'all had it, man. Y'all had all the pieces. It was just a matter of putting it all together and going through and do it. And y'all did that, man. I love to see y'all that summer, man. Like y'all, it would be. The thing is, man, y'all moved as a unit. You know what I mean? Like y'all was always together. It's time to go eat. It's time to go kick it. It's time to go work out. It's time to go to class. Whatever it was, everybody moved as a unit. Y'all held each other accountable. So I knew going into the season, y'all was gonna do something special, man. Y'all was gonna do something special, and y'all did it. Let's talk about that season, that junior season. Y'all went undefeated in the SEC.
We did in the SEC. We were just, like I said, man. We were just locked in. It was a whole different beast. I think we really matured in a sense as players, right, and as teammates. So it was like, listen, it don't matter what may or may not be happening outside of this court. I really don't care what happened last year. None of that matters. How are we going to compete and win championship starting this year and then hopefully put ourselves in a position to try to do it again? That's all we thought about as juniors and seniors. How to win 2.
Right.
We're here. We're 0 for 2. How do we go out with at least 2? And everybody bought into it. Was it always roses? Of course not. It's part of a team. Successes, you got failures, even on the wins. We thought we did a great job, and the whole next day of film is 30 minutes of all of our mistakes.
Yeah. And y'all got Bird and Shannon walking into the fire at this time also. What was that team dynamic like then when they arrived?
I think we tried to welcome them with open arms, but our conditioning program is it's bar none, bro. It's up there, right? It's tough, and it ain't for everybody. And they are very talented players. I tell anybody, we weren't winning those championships those years, without that extra help from those two. That's a fact. Right. So, but what they weren't prepared for was I had to make some workouts, bro. And like when we run sprints, sometimes Heather be like, all right, down here touch with your right, down here touch with your left. Sounds easy until you get tired and you just
trying to get through it,
Right. So we was doing a conditioning game, really, and we're dying. She called it the Magic Six, right? Because you got to win 6 games for a national championship. So we used to do Magic Six. And every time you get closer to those last few, the sprints and stuff get harder, right? Just like a championship game. Man, I remember we running. Shannon went to touch with one of the feet, and Rilla, one of her foot, like in the air, turned to hit the right foot, and then bounced. So we were safe. It was funny though. I was running like, but she saved it. All right, cool.
Yeah.
And then Bird does it like a few sprints later, but then she like just exploded, like mad, pretty much. Like I don't care, y'all need me, blah blah blah. And we like, Bird.
Yeah, come on, dog. You tripping.
Yeah, I'm like, we gotta run all of this over because of you.
Right.
Never want to be that player, right? Like I used to make my run all the time because I had a smart mouth. I was always just doing or saying dumb stuff. And then I didn't mind running because I was in great shape. But there are people who don't like running.
Right.
And at that day, I was one of them. I was one of those people.
Yeah.
But I think after that, that brought everybody a little bit closer because they saw how serious we were and how we were going to hold anybody accountable. If it was me that did that, somebody would have been cussing me out.
Right.
Period. Right. You know what I'm saying? It just so happened to be a transfer. So it may have come off like we were ganging up, but really we're like, listen, we don't have no time to waste. You got to get acclimated to our culture today.
Right.
And I think once both of them locked into where they was at, everything else is, well, history.
Yeah, it sure is, man. And that was beautiful. I remember coming back the next summer. Woo! Hey, man, y'all had the city on fire. Listen, man, when I got there, let me pause it for a second. When I got there fresh off the football team winning the national championship. The Lady Vols the year before, they had won in 98?
98, yeah.
They won the championship. So we come in, then our team, we go to Sweet 16. We win the SEC championship. So it's rolling. So I know what it's supposed to look like, and I know what that feeling's like in the city. So when I get back, my brother's at school then, also Ramon. Shout out to Ramon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm just knowing like, hey dog, I'm telling Ramon when I get to the park, I'm like, hey dog, the city bubbling. I'm telling you, I can feel it. I done seen it before. I done seen what them chips look like, dog. It's about to be a run. It's about to be a run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, hey, that was huge, man. I love to see that, man. That was the truth. I'm gonna be real. So how hard was it? How hard was it to go and get that second one though? Talk about the first one. Let's go through the first one. How gratifying was that to get that championship?
Man, it's like that weight off your shoulder. Like, okay, we did it. But it's so funny because each and every one of us, did we enjoy winning that championship? Absolutely. Right. But we was already talking about how we gonna get back. Coming for number 2. You know what I mean? It was like, this is great. This is everything we wanted, but it ain't because we said we wanted 2, at least. Right. You know. So that was, that championship meant it was very special. Just because it just felt like it was right there and it slips. It's right there and it slips. And there, you know what I mean? And then finally everything goes the way it's supposed to for the work that you've been putting in. Right. So right there was that, like, that sigh of relief that, okay, now let's get another storm popping.
And
let's
you get the individual accolades. You first team All SEC. Y'all rolling. Kansas is second All American. Like, man, y'all it couldn't look any better. I'm gonna be real. You know what I mean?
It felt good.
Yeah, I know it did. I know it did. So y'all come back. Y'all trying to get back to work. Let's get this second. Yeah. What's the mindset going into this one? How you getting everybody? Everybody stay there that summer. What was it?
Yeah. We stayed there that summer. Of course, we worked the camps, but we spent a lot of time in the T-Rec hooping, a lot of time in Stokely hooping, playing pickup games. We would even go to local churches and play pickup. You know what I mean? We got to find guys. We got to find men to play against because outside of our practice guys, who in the state is going to or will challenge us in the way that we need to be challenged in order to compete again for a championship. And that's not a diss, but you got to think about what the University of Tennessee stood for. It stood for the best talent in Tennessee at that time, right? So we take that very serious, and we're not gonna go risk getting hurt playing against other girls.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think we bought into number one, wearing Pratt all the time, putting up them shots, whether it's a shooting game to 1-on-1, 2-on-2, to you just getting solo work in.
Yeah.
But it was a lot, like we just kept a ball in our hand. It was like being a kid again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you always caught us with a ball in our hand or talking smack or trying to motivate each other, challenging each other. It could be a football player, men's basketball, like it ain't matter. Oh, what?
Yep.
You don't work like I work. Nah, I'm telling you that. Like you gotta be a true competitor. You gotta love your sport to get mad that somebody said they outwork you.
Yeah. And guess what? And viewers, people that's listening to Boom Boom Room with Alexis Hornbuckle, hey, I'm telling you, I saw it with my own eyes. Like the men, they playing pickup. I would come back and play pickup in the summer. You know what I mean? And then after, you know what I mean? One of them supposed to be coming through the gym and challenging somebody 1-on-1. And I'm like, hey, man, hold on, man. Like, I remember in my years, like, Nicky McCray used to come back and hoop with us. Tamika at that time was the only one we used to let hoop. We used to let Ashley hoop because of our height. Tasha in there and then. But they had a group. Like, you could damn near really throw 5 out there versus 5 and get to it, man. I remember sitting in the gym, and this wasn't no scrub UT men's basketball team. This was a men's basketball team with All-American, Chris Lofton. Like, they were rolling too. You know, Tyler Smith was all SEC. So I remember sitting in the gym, man, after playing pickup, and Ryan Childress was in there, and he was in there shooting around, and Candace and somebody else, it might have been you, they walked through there, and he was like, Candace was like, I'll dunk on you.
Yeah, bro, I was there. That was me.
I said, oh, she done lost her damn man. That's what I'm saying to myself. She out here tripping. Like, I know he gonna cut her head before he let her dunk on her. Man,
she let that happen.
Dude, she got the ball and went dunked on him. I'm like,
hey. Like, she ain't waste no time, though. That's what had me down. She ain't waste no time.
Like, come on, man. Like, took it, wasn't no get my steps together. No, just take it, boom, boom, bang. I'm like, oh, this is crazy, man. They out here with the foolishness. You know what I mean?
Hey, you know I'm hyped, too.
Yeah.
I'm hyped.
Hey, number one hype, man. You crazy. You know what I mean? Hey, man. So, hey, man, and what y'all don't know, man, like, it was, we'll get to that later. It was beautiful, though. You know what I mean? It was beautiful. You know what I mean? After the grind and everything, the kicking and breaking bread with each other, man, was different. And I remember plenty of times me and Lex rolling, and she asking me questions. You know what I mean? Like, and I didn't think about it at the time. I was just giving her the information, but she picking my brain for different things, and I'm like, damn, man, they get it. You know what I mean? Like, they get it. You know, this is what some dudes should be doing. You know what I mean? On the men's team, but they get it. You know, then they already won the chip and everything. So let's go into that. Let's go into that senior season. You had an opportunity. You came up short against, I forgot who y'all played. It might have been UConn. That you almost had a triple-double. You would have been the first lady ball in history.
I'm so mad.
Was that your senior year?
UConn won. It was UConn. No, that was my sophomore year. The senior year was, I think we was playing like Florida. My sophomore year, I was like a rebound or something away for the triple-double. But, nah, yeah.
Hey, Lex, man, that like, you would have been the only one in history.
And I knew that, and I was trying, man. And I needed one rebound, and I love Big Nick, but when Nick is running full speed, she may or may not make that layup, right? Yeah. So we were actually talking about it, like, Nick, I need you to miss this one for real, like. I was like. Like everything, I just got deflated, man. Yeah. Like, open up my chance. Because that was like, if you don't get it, you coming out.
Right.
She did that to me at my 1,000 point. Like, when we played in West Virginia.
Y'all played in Charleston.
Yeah. She was about to take me out. I go, whoa, coach. I need one more bucket for my points. Like, I got to get it here. You feel me? And she threw up a play, came off a screen. I think Alex might have set the screen. Boom, came on, shoulder to shoulder, elbow. bucket.
Money, yeah.
That was it. And I'm looking at her like, you take me out now.
So see that senior year, y'all went through that year. Did y'all know automatically that y'all were going to win the chip? But because I asked that because seasons are roller coasters. You know what I mean? The up and downs. And one thing for sure, you got to find different things throughout the season to motivate you. So what was y'all motivation through that season, and what were y'all up and downs and y'all obstacles?
Well, we were trying to go undefeated that season. That was our initial motivation, right? And then once that didn't happen, it was also obviously to go back-to-back SEC championships and do that. But it was LSU.
Right.
LSU smacked us in the SECs.
Yeah.
I'm slave. We lost by like almost 30 points, if not 30 points.
Yeah.
Like, and right then, but we had a little chippy stuff starting to go. You get into any locker room, but females especially, grudges, more emotional. So it's going to be things that affect you, and you're not always going to be able to just shut it off and play basketball.
Right.
So there was things, little fire starting to be started. And Pat, I think Consensus kind of knew, but she don't really address it unless it affects the team. You know what I'm saying? And we had like a come to Jesus meeting right after we were supposed to fly out, and Pat was like, "Oh no, we got a morning team meeting, and we're not flying out of this city. We're not driving back on this bus until we figure out what stopped us from getting this championship and how do we get an NCAA championship."
Right.
So right there, we shifted, refocused, got everything out, and a lot of it, to be honest, like usual, miscommunication or no communication. You know what I'm saying? It is just like Pat always said, eliminates confusion. And then from that point on, it was like, all right, let's regel, reband, refocus. Let's go get it.
Right. And y'all went on that run, so you get ready to go in the NCAA tournament. Talk about that journey through the tournament.
That season was tough for me because that December I had lost my grandmother. We were actually playing at Stanford. And only thing I asked for Christmas that whole year, I was just like, I just want to see her one more time. I just want to hug her one more time. And then, I don't know, I did play out of my mind that game. And then I get on the bus, Pat calls me to the front, and everything that's going through my head at first is, oh God, what did I do?
There's a Pat calling you. Somebody told Pat something. It's a wrong
right, I'm doing all my checks. Did I go to class? Yeah, I went to class, man. Was I late? No, I wasn't late, man. Like, I'm doing everything in my head.
Right.
And she sat down, and when she wrapped her arm around me, it's like I knew, but I still was like, all right, coach, what you about to say? You know what I'm saying? And she told me my grandmother had passed. She had actually passed that morning, but they didn't want to tell me before the game. She talked to my parents or my dad. So that was tough for me, man. You know what I mean? Because that's right before the Christmas break, right before you go home. That was tough, bro. Yeah. And so for me, I dedicated the rest of my season to her. I wrote "Give Me Strength" on one of my shoes. It was for, R.I.P. grandmama. And for me, it was like, I'm doing this for you. Like, you got this. This is for you, period. So my focus already was with the team, and now it's with her. So it's just like, I'm not even a part of this run. My talents are, my body is, but this ain't for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's kind of that senior year, and then, as everybody knows by now, we get to the Final Four, and I play like absolute trash, bro.
Garbage.
Oh my God, boy! Jesus, I couldn't hit nothing. And then what you do when you can't hit anything? Start forcing, make you look worse. Then you're in your head. Now you're trying too hard. I mean, it was like the worst game by far in my entire collegiate career.
Yeah.
My senior year, Final Four, LSU, and that was tough because we just won. I'm a senior. I'm not adding value to the team the way I typically do or need to be doing in a Final Four game.
Right. The biggest stage next to the championship.
Right. I got to choose this game on this stage to play like this. That's all I kept thinking about, man. My dad was like, take her out. And I hear him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I go over, like, he don't play. I told you my dad don't play. You're not playing well, get her off or put somebody on that can play better than she's doing right now and give you more, period. That's how he coached. So I go over, I hear him, there's a timeout, and I go, Coach, just take me out. Just take me out. Like, I'm not making, and now I'm frustrated. I'm like, just take me out. I ain't making nothing. I ain't doing nothing for the team. Just take me out. Put somebody else in, blah, blah, blah. So she lets the huddle go. I'm about to walk off because she didn't take me out. And she grabbed my jersey and she was like, Hornbuckle, we're better with you than we are without you. Okay, Coach. Like, you know, it did reassure the confidence that she had in me as a player and the trust, though, that she had in me as also a player and one of the leaders of the team. So that right there kind of was like, you just got to figure it out.
Right.
You know, if coaches believe in that you can figure this out, you got to figure this out.
You ain't got no choice. And you end up, like we just saw in the clip, you end up putting the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Walk me through that.
Well, I made a dumb mistake and fouled. Why did I foul? I don't know. I put him on the line.
Yeah.
She misses. So, all right. We down by 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 0.7 seconds left on the clock. All right.
Mm-hmm.
No. It was 2. It was like 2 points something left on the clock when we had the ball on the other end of the court. So coming out of timeout, Caldwell goes, Candace, Lex, throw the ball into Parker.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Parker, attack the basket. Guarantee they're going to W or triple you. Drop it to the open man. Finish it.
Right.
I always call her Caldwell. My bad. Nikki Fargas.
Yeah,
now.
Nikki Caldwell, Nikki Fargas now married.
Yeah, my bad. Because sometimes people might not know. She forever Caldwell to me. So she's like, but go get this rebound. So I said, like, this is your only job tonight. If you can't do nothing else, go get this rebound.
You killing us.
CP drive, dumps it to Big Nick on the left side. Big Nick goes up. It comes off. All I know, Slay, I ain't see no teammates. I ain't see no fans. I ain't see nothing but ball and basket, bro.
Yeah.
I ain't see nothing else. It was almost like one of them 6-man moments. The movie The 6 Man was just, they be like, how is this happening right now? And that's all it was. And when they banked in, and I went to turn and run actually to get back on defense. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but I ran into one of my other teammates because I was about to turn and like match up, and I was like, boom! She almost took me off my feet, right? And so you see Bobbitt fall out on the floor. You know, and during that timeout, I just kept saying, like, give me strength. Like, Lord, if I can't do nothing else right, just let me stay in tune and do something to help my team right now. I didn't know it was going to be the last second shot.
Right.
I just knew that I wanted to stay focused and locked in case my number was cold. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, that was, for me, that was my championship game. That was a way more emotional game and moment for me, personally, than the actual championship game when we put that whooping up on Stanford.
Yes,
you feel me?
Yes, I did. And that game right there, the LSU game, is a testament to you, your hard work, and being able to stay in tune, knowing that you're not scoring, knowing that you're not really just helping the team turn the ball over. You know what I mean? But to ice the game, you get a rebound, which is a effort play, and then you go get a steal. Like, I mean, it's, all this is effort, and you know what I mean. This is what drives you right here. You know what I mean. And you did that. You answered the bell. You know, and then y'all, like you said, y'all went and did a number on Stanford. You know what I mean. No knock on them.
Yeah, they did that to themselves, though, Slave. They did that to themselves.
Why they do that?
They hit the newspaper talking about what our defense couldn't do. We couldn't hold them to like under 50. And, you know, because Candace Wiggins was having a great year that year. She dropping 30, 40, 50 points almost on a regular, right? So they thinking they more than halfway there with just her, and they thinking they got enough firepower. Man, we had Big Nick guarding Candace. We had our center guarding their best point guard locked down. You hear me?
Yeah. See, they must have forgot. They must have forgotten who the coach. Listen, viewers, if you don't know, like, I know y'all see in the past, you see Coach Summit over there with the scowl and everything. But, man, I done walked in there to practices. They would usually practice before the men. Then we would come in and practice, and I would see them practicing. They'll be going 30 minutes, the last 30 minutes of practice on defense. Like, this is a defensive monster. That's the wrong person to pull her cords. You know what I mean? So I know y'all was locked in.
Oh man, it was so personal, and then it was just like, oh, it's not even a championship game, like it's easy breezy.
Right.
And that's no disrespect to Stanford, but
Right.
that's, I mean, the utmost respect to all the ladies that we had blood, sweat, and tears with that year, because every challenge that got thrown at us,
Right.
we willingly accepted. Did we get every outcome we wanted? No.
Right.
But we did pretty damn well.
Yes.
At the end of the day, by the time we graduated, we made our dent. We left our bit of our legacies there, and that's exactly what each of us came to do, and that's everything that Coach Summit put that program in place for, was for women to leave their mark.
Without a doubt. And then see, I'm upset because I'm overseas watching it, and I'm geeked. I'm going off. I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to get back out there this summer, man. It's going down. Man, the next day you get drafted. It's over.
Gone, bruh. It happened so quick, right?
Like, yeah. I'm like, damn, I don't even get to kick it with my dog. Like, it's going to be on this summer. You going straight back to play. It's straight back to it. You get drafted. Talk about draft night.
Like you said, man, we got drafted the next day, so the championship game happens. They don't do it like this now, which is smarter. Mm-hmm. They space it out. But the next day, we drive from one city in Tampa into another city, and we go through our draft. And my mom even said before I got drafted, like, I feel like she's gonna go number 4. Why? I don't know. Yeah. But they read it. Candace Parker, number 1. Mm-hmm. Sylvia Fowles, number 2. Candace Wiggins, number 3. Alexis Hornbuckle, number 4. And I was just like, it was still so surreal. Yeah. Like, in my head, just 3-4 nights ago, I'm thinking I might not even compete for a championship my senior year, right? Then we win, and now right now I'm supposed to be in front of all these lights and people and stage and happy. And it's not that I wasn't happy. It's just sometimes like I need time to process.
Yeah, to process it. Yeah.
Yeah, because at that time I really wasn't like an emotional person, mm-hmm. So like it take a minute for my emotions to truly set in on like what's really happening. Like, girl, you know what you just did?
Right.
Like, yeah, oh wait, yeah. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, oh my God, I got drafted, tears of joy. Like I saw my mom had tears of joy. Of course, I'm smiling Kool-Aid, smile ear to ear, because obviously I'm happy. It's just happened so fast that I wish I could. I don't even remember all of the draft, to be honest. Because just like you're on cloud 9 from winning, you're on cloud 9 from being drafted. Right. And it's just like, but at the draft, you know, it's like, all right, you got this interview, you got to take this picture, you got to walk over here. It's not like you get drafted and you take a lot and you just like chilling with your friends and family, eating and having champagne. It ain't like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you're doing all these interviews. Then at one point, I had to call Coach Bill Laimbeer. That was my head coach in Detroit. I got drafted number 4 to the Detroit Shock. And a day after that, or at least within 48 hours of the draft, I was in Detroit.
Right. That fast.
That fast. Doing stuff.
Now, what was the transition like coming from? We saw it from your pops coaching you to now Coach Summers coaching you at Tennessee with that tradition. Now you walking into another, in a sense, tradition with Detroit. You know, you got the Bad Boys, you got Bill Laimbeer there. You know, and that's one of these cities that they support. Mm-hmm. They support that WNBA. And you walk into that as a rookie after winning 2 national championships. You walk into that as a rookie. You got the legendary Bill Laimbeer right there. Y'all got a good team.
Oh, it was tough.
Tell me about that transition to the pros.
Man, it's nothing like walking into the room as a freshman into college, because number 1, you're dealing with grown women. Mm-hmm. Number 2, if you think about it, you're still a kid. Yeah, you're 21, 22 years old, but you don't know nothing about this next level. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it was a whole different atmosphere. I liked it. I ate every bit of that bad boy atmosphere because that's right up my alley. You feel me? Yeah. Like that's exactly how I play. So it was so fitting, and I'm very appreciative that Bill was my first coach, and Rick. They did a great job because they still had that NBA player mentality, but now they have more knowledge and expertise as coaches. So they're not really, it's not too political at that point yet. It's about basketball. Either you perform or you don't play, period. Right. You know what I mean? It was really cut and dry because they just trying to win. Mm-hmm. And so we come in, and actually Tasha Humphreys is like one of my best friends, went to UGA, he get drafted. So we're both in Detroit, right? Mm-hmm. Halfway through the season, an Olympic year. They cut her. I mean, they cut her and somebody else. I forgot who they cut, but they brought in Taj McWilliams, Franklin, and Ashley Shields. Um, so we ended up winning. So obviously it was a good decision. But what I saw was a coach that actually was affected by having to pursue business. He didn't want to coach. He didn't want to really let Hump go because the work that she was starting to put into it, and you were starting to see that potential start to come out, right? But at the end of the day, I respect him as a coach, but also as a businessman because he was seeing things that we needed way ahead of everybody else. Everybody else was playing catch up to Bill, I felt like. You know what I'm saying? And so like his mentality to me was very similar to Coach Summit's.
Right.
You know, okay, I've been here before, and I know you're gonna hit me with this. And you might even try to counter this because I threw a little bit at you, so you watched it, so you might be prepared. But I'm gonna go from here, maybe back over here, but I'm gonna integrate right here, and then we'll give you something new. Like I just respected his mind. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was a dope experience coming into that, and then lo and behold, we get another chip.
So you just can't stop winning, Lex. You can't stop winning if you wanted to. Just keep winning.
Man, that was pretty. I'm not gonna lie, that was dope because I'm coming in as a rookie.
Right.
I'm earning all minutes.
Right.
You know, I'm getting a little bit backup play from the point, some of the wing play behind Deanna Nolan Tweet or Katie Smith, but I wasn't really utilized the way I was in college or the way I was in high school. So you know, it's getting adjusted to the professional world.
Right.
And so just like, oh man, I should be out there. I could give more. At least I could give more. I mean, because I went killers. Like, Sweet, a beast. Yeah. You know, EP was a great point guard. You know, Katie Smith shoot that thing. Like, before, that's Karl Malone's daughter, and they play alike. You know what I'm saying? So imagine a 6'5" woman with that frame and athleticism.
Right.
And Kara Braxton, who was 6'6", big girl from Georgia. Yeah, we was tough.
Y'all had them all, man. Y'all, and I had the opportunity with playing, not playing with, but being in the same country. I was in Israel, and Tweet and Cheryl were over there. Hey man, like it was some good times over there, man. Like they cool, down to earth people, 100. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, and I can imagine y'all camaraderie y'all had as a team. So it's much more that we can get to with your story, but I want to say that for another time for when the cheering stops, how you transition, you know what I mean, to where you are now coaching. You got your father alongside with you, assistant coaching. You got the Alexis Hornbuckle Basketball Academy. You know, you saw the viewers, y'all saw it up there. There it is, Y'all saw it up there. Y'all saw our handles where to follow. Any way to reach her. Also, y'all stay tuned. Let's dive in a little bit to the collective Unfiltered. Let's talk about that a little bit. Your podcast, you and Jay Bull got, you know what I mean? So you reach back into your soccer, bag and pull Jay Bull out with this one. Okay, talk about this one a little bit.
Man, Jay Bull and I, we've been friends 15 plus years, you know what I'm saying? Really since she stepped foot on campus at Tennessee. Right. She was a great, highly recruited soccer player. You know what I mean? She played pros, she coached Division I, but she's just so knowledgeable, so woke. Right. She just has a lot of different experiences and network ties that it's like, we've talked about this in college, bro. Right. It started out, you remember when The Real World was out and stuff? We used to think we wanted our like reality show. And then we're like, nah, we're gonna write a book. And then, you know, you just spitfiring off each other and everything. And then it's just like perfect time. Like everything was kind of already turning digital. We felt like our story, we want to just be able to tell our stories and then get different people's stories and perspective and give them a platform to also promote themselves, you know, during and at the end of it, so that we're always constantly evolving, but we're also helping each other grow, you know, whatever it is, whatever business, because our pillars are finance, athletes, business, and equality. And I feel like that's just life in itself, because equality, business, and finance, anybody can be that, right? And then you tag on being a current or former athlete and add that type of perspective and mindset, and it just opens up a whole new world for people who may not get those opportunities to hear people, successful people speak.
I dig that. I love it, man. Y'all tune in. That's every Monday at what time? What time y'all go on Mondays?
Monday catches Monday at 7. Every Monday we be on Facebook. I'll pen. It's the Collective Unfiltered. You know what I mean? Feel free to lock in. It's like the boom boom room, man. We unfiltered. We have conversations. And tomorrow, my man gonna bless me by coming up on my podcast. So I need all of y'all that's on here today. Make sure y'all check Ron out on our podcast tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely, man. Lex, before I let you go, some advice to kids that are not highly ranked, sometimes feel like they fall through the cracks. How important is it for them to keep working, not knowing when that break might come? You know what I mean? Whether it be a starting role or just talk about the importance of the hard work and also being able to play your part in the team. You know what I mean? Like you guys, you didn't say it, but you set the record for steals for the Lady Vols. You know what I mean? So everybody played a part. Like you said, when Bird and Shannon came into that, there's a part that they had to play. Y'all had to hold them accountable. How important is that to know your role and to be ready for when your number is called? Talk about that for a second.
I think that's probably one of the most important things missing in youth sports today. That mentality, that mindset, but most importantly, that self-discipline to stay locked into getting better on a daily basis, improving your weaknesses, not just your strengths, right? Yes, you find your go-to moves, you find things that are make you comfortable, but the only true way to be ready for when your time is called is to get comfortable being uncomfortable, right? Greatness is on the other side of that. So don't work out only if you're playing 20 minutes a game, 30 minutes a game. Don't work hard when you're the star of the team. Work hard when you feel like coach is overlooking you. Keep working hard when you feel like your name is always in coach's mouth. Because I'm going to tell y'all that's a good thing. That means they see the potential, they see you working, but they're trying to see how hard do you really want to work. Right. So that when the time comes, they can trust you enough to give everything you have, because no matter what, you've already been doing that. So you got to stay working because coaches see it, the right people see it. And then on top of that, place yourselves in good positions. Sit down, talk to your parents. What are my dream schools? How far? Is it a major, D1? Is it mid-major? Is it D2, D3, NAI, JUCO? Whatever it is, y'all got to start to have those conversations so that your parents and your coaches and your mentors can put you with people that can help you reach your goal. Because unfortunately, we live in an era where money runs everything. AU is a money-making business where it should be an education and getting business. You should be getting these kids education year after year after year and not worried about how much Nike or Adidas or Under Armour is going to give you. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm not knocking anybody's program. It's just the fact that those programs are out there. So you need to ask the question, see if you can get with coaches and teams where their only focus are the girls, not the money. So I would say keep working, position yourself to be around people that actually care about your future, not what you can do for their team now or their organization now. Make sure they're talking to coaches. Don't let them tell you COVID is the reason. Right. You can still help your kids get recruited now. So I would say do that. Keep working, because if it's meant to be, it will be. But if you stop, it will never happen.
Hey man, you summed it up beautifully. I mean, it's what I expected from Felix. That's exactly what I expected from him. I appreciate you coming on in the Boom Boom Room, man. Well, I'll see y'all tomorrow. You and Jay Wood, Collective Unfiltered. Y'all tune in at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Lock in. It's going to be a good one. It's going to piggyback off this one, and we're going this time I'll be the talker. She'll be the interviewer. We're going to switch spots.
Yeah, we're going to fill it in with some slang moments.
Hey, one time.
Hey, man, I appreciate it.
Always, man. I love you, man. Stay safe up there.
Man, you too.
I bet. So, people, that is the Boom Boom Room. That's it, man. I want to give a great shout out to Alexis Hornbuckle for coming through, showing some love, dropping some knowledge. Camille, Keely, Miyoshi. Hope y'all listening, man. I hope y'all listening, because you know the jewels that these ladies are dropping are and should be picked up by you. You know what I mean? Like, it's not about the rankings or where you are or where you start. It's about where you end. And these are people that worked hard and got to where they wanted to go to. So stay tuned in, stay tapped into your resources. This is another resource. If you you want to get in touch with them, we ask them questions, you hit me up. Y'all know how to get in touch with me. We'll get in touch with Lex. We'll get in touch with me. Get in touch with Ashley. Get in touch with all these people that can give you some good information, man. This is the Boom Boom Room. I'm Ron Slay. Don't forget that the book, I tell you people, the book is on the way. A Slay Ride, The Journey of a Legend. Stay locked in on that. You know what I mean? That's coming soon. Make sure you go to the website on YouTube and subscribe. Click on the channel. Any shows that you might have missed in the past, Charles Hathaway will be up this evening. But you got Randolph Childress, Shamika Holtzclaw, Ashley Robinson. The list goes on and on. Ramon Foster. Next week we'll be having Brandon Wright. That ought to be a good one. That ought to be a good one to tap in. Another guy that grinded. And sometimes doesn't get his just due, but we'll get to dive in and see what he thinks of that. Let me show you guys the page. This is what it looks like on YouTube. Go to that page, subscribe to the channel for me. Tap in, man. Tap in. Do that. So another thing, tomorrow, the Unfiltered, the Collective Unfiltered. I'll be on there at 7 p.m. Eastern to wrap it up with Lex and Jay Boog, some volunteers, LVFLs, and that ought to be good. One thing to leave you with, we know it's a different climate that we're living in. Don't be distracted. Don't be distracted from the things that's going on outside of it. Remember what the cause is. Police brutality, injustice, and equality. Remember what the cause is, people. Do not get distracted by the little things that they throw at you. Remember that. Remember that. This is the Boom Boom Room. I'm your host, Ron Slay.
With the 8th pick in the 2007 NBA Draft, the Charlotte Bobcats select Brandon Wright from the University of North Carolina.